Oh, well, I just have to respond to Stephen Crowder on the Avengers.
Now, before we get into why we liked it, why we didn't, there might be some spoilers here.
There's definitely going to be some spoilers here. Okay, well, I thought Avengers was fucking awesome. Let's see what Stephen Crowder thought of it.
We get into the full review. Mug up or no mug? Mugs up, no.
I'm gonna give it a mug down. No mug.
You're not, no mug.
No mug.
Okay, no mug. Last film we did was Quiet Place. Was 2 mugs up, no mug.
So I just want to make clear that I'm not saying that Stephen Crowder is quote unquote wrong. You can't have a wrong opinion. Opinions are personal, they're subjective, they're intensive, they're expressions of valuations. What I want to try and say is that the premise for his opinion that this movie is quote unquote bad is a faulty premise. And my reason for making this video isn't to pwn him or whatever. I love the movie. He thought it was a bad movie. We can have different opinions. It's just the reason he gave for it being a bad movie. I thought disbelief. Like, I just don't understand his thought processes, how he came to that conclusion. Plus, I just wanted to make a video, so let's get into it.
Why I do not recommend this recent Avengers film. You know, we've always talked about with the show, you need to earn the audience with every single performance, right? They don't know that you did a show 2 weeks ago and it was packed and it was with stand-up. It doesn't matter. You're re-earning it every single time. They didn't do that with this. This film is really banking on you loving the entire Marvel universe and
Yeah, that's the point.
That's the point, Sergeant.
that's the point! Thinking that it's kind of like Disney. Everything is a triumph, a brilliant return. Well, hold on. We'll be the judge of that. You have to believe that every triumph of the Marvel universe is something to be marveled.
Yeah. The fun and clever part about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that every film ties in together. The part that makes it suck is the fact that they shortchange every movie so that it could all tie in together. And so all those movies were shortchanged so that they could tie into the bigger theme. And then when we get to this point, it's so reliant on films you saw 10 years ago and plot points and characters that you don't care about anymore. But they assume you still do.
Well, and I think
that is the point. The movies are supposed to tie in together, okay? The reason it's not building characters up from scratch, the reason it does it in other movies is so that the characters are already developed. And contrary to what you've asserted, no, we do care. That's the whole reason why we care about these characters. Spoiler alert, the whole reason why we care when Peter Parker dies at the end and he says he doesn't want to go and Tony Stark's there, can't remember if he's in his arms or not, but is helpless to stop this. The reason we care is because of the relationship built up in the previous movies between the characters. The characters have been established in previous movies, and then the relationships between those characters have developed with the kind of mentor-mentee, father-son relationship between Tony Stark and Peter Parker in Civil War, and then again in Spider-Man Homecoming. What are the other ones? Captain America and Bucky Barnes in Captain America 1, 2, and 3. Between Vision and Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron, Civil War, and now continue developed in this one, Avengers. Who else is there? You know, the kind of conflict between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, built up in Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Captain America 3, Civil War. I mean, the reason why we give a shit in Avengers Infinity War is because these characters were built up and developed, and their relationships with each other developed over the course of all the movies, okay? They didn't shortchange shit, okay? They haven't shortchanged anything in the previous movies. If you want to see what shortchanging looks like, look at the DC movies, not the awesome Nolan Batman ones, but like the more recent DC cinematic universe, where they just went straight to Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Why do these two characters hate each other? That hasn't been built up. And then they all team up at the end. Why do they care? And then in the Justice League movie, why would we care about any of the relationships with any of these characters? They haven't developed any of the characters, and then they haven't built up any of the characters and then developed them. I think Wonder Woman being the only exception. She had her own movie, and Superman. But we don't care about any of their relationships because that hasn't been developed. So if you want to see what not Gay Jared, if you want to see what short-changing characters looks like, look at the DC movies, not the Marvel ones. And Stephen, just to your point about banking on past movies, okay, well, I mean, that's the point so far as story and character relationships. Like, the whole point of this movie is it's been building to it over, the past dozen or so Marvel movies. But I think what you're implying with your reference to stand-up, by the way, stand-up and cinema are completely different art fields. I'm not sure if something that applies to one, there's my hand, applies to one, would apply to the other. But I get the sense almost, that in saying banking on past movies, previous installments, that you're saying that it's phoning it in, which it's not. I just want to say, just very quickly, I'm doing everything off the top of my head, so excuse me. The cinematography was amazing. The cast that they've is stellar. They've done amazing casting work on all the characters. Their performances were amazing. The soundtrack was amazing. The CGI is, as far as CGI goes, it's really good. I mean, there's not really any, even the action scenes. I mean, just action, as far as an action scenes goes, they are amazing. But the fact is, for example, they're not action scenes for the sake of action scenes. H-Bomber Guy makes this point. Excuse me. The action scenes actually serve a purpose. Spoiler alert. For example, when Hulk fights Thanos in the opening scene of the movie, okay, that's not just an action scene for the heck of it. Okay, this is something me and my housemate have been talking about. And he thinks, okay, so Thanos just smashes the Hulk. And you would think this is not normally the case. The more the Hulk gets beaten, the angrier and bigger he gets. But we think the reason why he has this fight with Thanos, why they put this action scene in and have the Hulk lose, and lose pretty spectacularly, is right now there's a bit of... There is a little bit of conflict between the Hulk and Bruce Banner. There's a bit of inner resentment, bit of conflict, confusion, and possibly also scared of Thanos. But in any case, the whole point is he loses the fight in this action scene, and then that sets it up for the next movie when he fights Thanos again. And by the time he fights him again, this is our theory anyway, that he will be ready, his mind will be in the game, and he's got to smash. Now, if this is true, you can see how that action scene at the start of Avengers Infinity War Part 1, it serves a purpose. And if you go through any particular fight, any particular action scene in Avengers Infinity War, you will see that it serves a purpose. Everything in this movie, I can't really say a bad thing about it. And just to go back, just very quickly to tie back to your point about it banks on past movies. Oh, there's my hand. This inner conflict with the Hulk, it started back in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, and then it's continued in Thor 3 Ragnarok. Okay, so they would be shortchanging the characters if they didn't build up to this like this. If they didn't bank on past movies, if they just did a DC expanded universe movie and just go straight to Justice League, just go straight to the Infinity Wars. They built up this inner conflict with the Hulk, and we're going to see that resolved in the next movie. Well, at least that's my theory anyway.
I want to be clear, why would you like it? If you really love the Marvel Universe and you love the CGI and the pew, 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 and just nothing but action
and Hawkeye.
And by the way, remarkable inconsistency. The Star-Lord wasn't at all the same character in this as he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was like he was neutered.
He was different. He was different for sure. And I'm sure they had to play that to make it fit with the overall dynamics of all the other characters. Because
all the diversity.
They have other, alpha male characters now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I disagree with everything that they just said, just like every syllable. But what was most egregious there was saying that Star-Lord wasn't even the same character. He was more he was more Star-Lordy than ever. And yes, there are a whole bunch of alpha male characters in this: Thanos, Thor, Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Black Panther, White Wolf, and Star-Lord. And they even kind of make an inside reference to this when Thor and Star-Lord meet, and Star-Lord changes his voice and starts imitating Thor to be more alpha. Not only are they going like super meta and acknowledging this, it's also an incredibly Star-Lordy thing to do, and it was funny as fuck. So fuck off with your they're inconsistent.
You will like it if you're just looking for popcorn summer action. You will like it if you are 100% bought into the Marvel Universe. I don't think you'll like it if you're looking for a film that stands alone with a coherent plot or something that really, that creates characters you care about, that engages you. We just reviewed A Quiet Place. It did that very effectively, and in very short order, they built the character backstory. With this, it just banks on you already caring about them from the previous films.
True.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's the point, Sergeant.
That's the point!
Well, lucky for anyone who's not Steven Crowder or not Gay Jared, it is actually a summer popcorn action movie, and it's not designed to stand alone, okay? It's designed from the ground up to be a part of a larger universe. And the characters are already developed. That's why we already care. And when you say about, oh, people won't care about characters from 10 years ago, right, go back to Captain America, the first Avenger movie. And when Red Skull was defeated and presumed to die, I was like, it's a Tesseract. He's probably just been teleported somewhere. I've been waiting for ages to see him again. And when we see him again on that planet as the Guardian of the Soul Stone, I was fucking like jumping out of my seat. I was like, it's fucking the Red Skull. So yeah, no, we do care. And it is a fantastic movie.
So, in conclusion, no mug. No, put it down. No mug for Avengers Infinity War.
I'm going to give Avengers Infinity War 2 mugs up. 2 mugs up for Avengers Infinity War Part 1. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. If you like it, hit the like button. If you don't, dislike it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And give me ideas for more videos. I want to start actually doing some more videos just as a hobby. They can be on anything. Q&As, topics, whatever. And we'll see you in the next video.